Hello and welcome back to Kadri Talks Football. Um, if you're tuning in after you watch the first video, I really appreciate you. And if you are watching for the first time, well, stay tuned and see why the others tuned in again. Just before I get into the video, please like, comment, subscribe, do all of the nice things to help the channel grow. And yeah, let's get into the video. So as you can see by the topic or by the title of the video, we're going to be covering quite certain things. So first things first, I want to give Klopp his props. I know it's been 2 weeks since he announced he's leaving, but I've not been able to make a video since then. Well, I have tried to make videos, but I never realized how not easy it was to make videos. But I've gone through it now, and the fact that you're seeing this, it means I've made it work. But anyway, Klopp. Klopp is Klopp is Liverpool. He's the guy. He turned doubters into believers. He's the one that I'm sad thinking about it. I can't imagine Liverpool without Klopp. It just doesn't make any sense. He became our dad. It's like I'm losing a dad. I'm losing a father figure. I'm losing someone that I grew up with, someone that made me who I am. He shaped me into the person I am today. It's crazy. He built players up, people that we call world class now, people that we never would have thought. If you see after there was a period where after every Liverpool signing, you go through the comment sections and you see people laughing at us that look at the people we're signing, and now everyone that would there's no one that would not admit that these players are arguably the best in the world in their positions. He's he's made the league competitive because without him, it's just going to be Pep and City every day. For someone to have gotten 99 points, 97 points, and 93 points and come out with just one title, you just know that the person he was going against was quite an animal himself. But props to Klopp, he's one of the greatest I've ever seen, and I just hope he's just tired and there are no other reasons why he is deciding to leave Liverpool. I'll be hurt to see him manage any other team. I feel like he could have agreed like a 1 year break with us and then come back. Maybe Pep, Linders, that's the star manager, not Guardiola. Take just manage us for 1 year and then he comes back and continues. But yeah, we just have to accept the fact that he's leaving. But um, he's leaving, and Arteta does not even respect that fact any bit. He pummeled us. He pummeled Liverpool. Arsenal pummeled Liverpool. I could sit here and talk about the things that went wrong for Liverpool, or give excuses for why Liverpool didn't win the game. But Arsenal were just better than Liverpool. It doesn't make any sense. It could be the fact that Arsenal have played 3 games in the last 30 days, whilst Liverpool have played a large amount of games. It could be the fact that Liverpool have played 3 games in the last 7 days, whilst Arsenal have played just one. It could be the fact that Arsenal played on a Tuesday and had an extra day, whilst Liverpool played on Wednesday and had one less day than Arsenal to prepare for the game. It could be the fact that the referee was making terrible decisions. But then again, the referees in general in Premier League are just terrible. Whether it is against Liverpool or against Chelsea, against Arsenal, or against any other team, they're just terrible. So there's no excuse for that because regardless of how that game could have gone, regardless of as long as we played the way we played yesterday, we would have always lost that game. And then Van Dijk and Alisson, even if we were going to sneak a draw, Van Dijk and Alisson made sure that that would not happen. But Arsenal have managed to cover the gap between Liverpool to 2 points now, and they are very much in the title race. I spoke to my friends the other day about if they think Arsenal in the title race, and they said no. No one believes in Arsenal, but I do. I've always said they're going to be in the title race. They're still in the title race. Do I think they're going to win the league? No. But they are very much in the title race, and I would never rule them out. But moving on, Chelsea, Chelsea played the game against Liverpool, and the fans were saying stuff like, the game could have been something. The referees cheated them or something. They considered 4 goals in that game could have been 8, but what they carried that momentum, that form into Stamford Bridge and played against Wolves, who just got pummeled by United, and they lost. This considered another 4 goals against them. I have no idea what's going on with that club. Is Poch a bad manager? I don't think Poch is a bad manager. I see glimpses of good football in Chelsea. You see their players. You see the way the setup is and what they're trying to do. I just don't understand how at the end of the day the end result is them being at 11th and losing almost every game. It makes no sense, but that's where they are now. But I'm going to have to give credit to Wolves. They well, they lost only by margin against United, and they came to Stamford Bridge and said that they are not losing again, and they made sure they didn't. Shout out to Cunha. He's one of the Brazilian forwards that play the best football, but just don't score. But this time he made sure he scored, and he scored 3. He got his first hat trick. Another player who's gotten a hat trick before Rashford in the Premier League. But credit to Wolves, they were able to jump past Chelsea after that win against them. Um, Another interesting game from the weekend was Luton versus Newcastle. This Newcastle situation is very interesting, but what I genuinely believe is, so I have people around me saying Eddie Howe is not the man to lead Newcastle. Eddie Howe would get sacked or things like that. I believe last season they were ahead of schedule. They overperformed, and that has blinded people and expecting Newcastle to be in the top 4. If every team were expected to be, Newcastle will not be in top 4. We've got Chelsea, we've got United, we've got Arsenal, Liverpool, Spurs, City. Those are the teams that are expected to be in those positions. Newcastle managed to sneak their way in, and now people are blinded by the fact that they are currently ninth and saying that they shouldn't be there. No, this is where they should be. It's a gradual process, and I believe that they'll continue to move forward with Eddie Howe. But notwithstanding, credit to Luton, they have been performing perfectly. Well, okay, perfect, maybe not perfectly, but for a team that has their stadiums joined to houses, for a team so small, so tiny, for a team first ever time in the Premier League, and this is what they are doing. Amongst the 3 teams that came into the Premier League from the Championship, they are the ones that are impressing me the most. And right now, due to the fact that Everton have gotten a 10-point deduction, they are above the relegation zone, and it is looking very possible every day that they might actually clinch this surviving in the Premier League. And it would be good for them, to be honest. They're a team I'm beginning to like. They've got Elijah, Chidozie, Osho, Barkley, complete. Okay, maybe I'm over exaggerating with how they are. Maybe not the most complete team, but they are doing really well, and they scored 4 goals at St James's Park. Any team that has gone to St James's Park would always tell you how hard it is, and yet Luton has gone there and scored 4 goals. That is very impressive. Talking about Everton and their 10-point deduction, not being able to win in their last few games has really affected them, and now they've dropped back into the relegation zone. But regardless, Sean Dykes went to the game against Tottenham with a plan. You watch football games sometimes and you don't necessarily see a plan. You just see the regular football they play, but once in a while you see the most obvious setups. Everton went in and said they are only going to take set pieces. They did not want to play football. They did not want to do anything. They were just forcing shots, kicking ball on bodies, just so that they would take corners. And when they take the corner, they made sure Vicario suffered. That brother was suffering after every corner kick, and they made sure they took advantage of it. They scored 1 from the corner kick, and just before we talk about their second goal, Richarlison, who is in red hot form at the moment, I think 7 in 8 or 8 in 8, I'm not too sure. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but he's been on red hot form and he has been scoring. He's one of those Brazilian forwards, just like Cunha, Firmino, Jesus, play really well but don't score a lot. But now he's discovered his scoring form, and he's Um, he's been the main man for Tottenham since Son went to the Asian Cup, and that unfortunately that was not good enough for his team. Everton took advantage of well, not really necessarily take advantage, but they managed to score a last minute goal when Tottenham's captain Romero nearly scored an own goal, but Brightway saved him from the embarrassment and scored the goal, and the match ended 2-2. It wasn't good enough for Everton though, or because they're still in the relegation zone, but it was very bad for Tottenham because now they are fifth at the expense of Aston Villa moving up to fourth, and Aston Villa pummeled Sheffield, making sure that Sheffield will be relegating this season. I mean, it's not confirmed yet, but it doesn't look like there's any hope for them. Ollie Watkins was a star in that game, scored, was involved in like 2, 3 goals. He is one of them strikers that are just so good. At the moment, I know, so Tony has been out for a while due to his issues, but at the moment, Watkins is looking like the second best English striker. He has the most assists in the league. He's scored a lot of goals, and it's very hard to make an argument for any other striker. I mean, Tony is back and he's scored in the 2 games he's been back, but Watkins has been really good. Good enough to give Aston Villa another win, put them in the top four, and one of those teams that I would say are overperforming. And then the next season, when they don't do this, people would start calling for the head of the coach. I think they're doing better than where they should be, and I think in the long run, if they keep up with this and stick with this manager, they would always be in the top four conversations. But for now, they're overperforming, but that doesn't mean they should not enjoy the journey. Another manager who people think is underperforming because of his previous season's performance is De Zerbi. De Zerbi does not deserve it. No, that forgive me. Well, De Zerbi, after getting pummeled in their last game, has managed to get another win. And you see, with De Zerbi, it is go big or go home. They lose 4-0, they win 4-1. That is how it is for them. Another very good game for João Pedro, who I was, watching with a side eye for a while because he was only scoring penalties. But his goal in this game against Palace, crazy. The link up with Welbeck, that flick, Firmino-esque. The goal with his side foot, really good goal, and they beat Crystal Palace 4-1. With Crystal Palace, you just expect a loss when AZ and Olise are not playing. There are questions that need to be asked right now. And I hate the fact that Olise was forced into that game and he had to leave the game injured again. It's not right. Young players are meant to be taken care of. You're not meant to treat them like, if it was a Milner, no one would, not let me not say no one would care, but the old players, yes, you can do that way, but the young players, you're meant to take care of them so that you don't ruin their careers quick. But anyway, no easy. Olise came in the second half, could not do anything. He got out injured, and Palace are losing. Palace are they where they meant to be? Could they be performing better? There are questions that need to be asked. If there is a Palace fan that manages to stumble on this video, you can give me your opinion on what you think. It took a while for me to talk about United, but I don't really like them. I'm just joking. I mean, no, definitely I don't like them, but I should try not to be biased. It looks like they have gotten their midfield fixed, if I could say. Kobe Mainu, controls the game. He gives those 5-yard passes and that recycles the ball. That's something they don't really have because if you give the ball to Bruno, that's the end of it. He's taking it out. If he gets to a player, good for them. If he doesn't, they've lost the ball. That's Bruno's game. Very annoying. And then Casemiro is back also. Casemiro, very reckless, but he's a destroyer. He tries to win the ball back. A starting football I like to look at for my midfielders are duels. And not necessarily completed duels. I like to see how many you attempted. It's years of watching Henderson that made me start this. How would you, as a midfielder in a high pressing team, attempt only two duels in a game and win just one. I like to look at how many attempts, and Casemiro is one of those guys that I like to attempt a lot. Whether you lose, he wins the ball or doesn't win the ball. The fact that you've attempted a duel means you have made the player with the ball uncomfortable, which means the next person to attempt a duel on that player will most likely win it. And that's how pressing works. And yeah, but anyway, they've got the balance back, which has given their forward line, the freedom to score. Rashford is scoring, Garnacho is scoring, Højlund is scoring, and things are looking good for them. They've won, I think, their last 3 games now, which has put them in a good position. They are now sixth in the table and not too far off. I mean, 8 points behind the top four, which is far, but not too far, considering how difficult Premier League has been this season. The other games from the weekend were Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest 1-1. Two teams that are in and around the same place. Although Gary O'Neill has been doing really well, Forest has not really been doing really well, but they managed to get a point from the game. And then the Burnley Fulham game. Fulham dominated the first half, Burnley dominated the second half. Shout out to Datro Fofana, who scored 2 goals to give Burnley a point. Fofana has been really good. I don't think he's good enough to keep them in the league next season, but he's been really good. And if he keeps up with this form, maybe he would find a team that would be in the Premier League next season. But that is it for my Premier League coverage. The last topic I will be covering today would be the AFCON. Oof. Talk about entertainment. There's nothing more entertaining than the AFCON. It's giving us everything. There's nothing you could ask for from a football tournament that you haven't got from the AFCON. But I'm not going to go into the jokes and the non-football related things. I'm just going to go straight into what has been happening. I'm only going to talk about the quarterfinals, where Nigeria played Angola. It was a fairly comfortable win for Nigeria. Angola had 2 good chances, one at the start of the game, one in the middle of the game where they hit the post. But apart from that, Nigeria was in control. It's not like Nigeria were playing the best football, but they made Angola play into their hands. They made Angola do what they wanted them to do, and that in turn gave them a fairly comfortable win. Nigeria has been 1-0 in this tournament. It looks like that's their way forward. I mean, Spain won the World Cup by 1-0 in every match, so that might be the way forward, it seems. I've not really backed Nigeria all tournament. I mean, I'm a Nigerian. I support Nigeria. I want Nigeria to win, but I've not really backed them. But now that they're in the semi-final, I think it's time to back them. They're in the last 4. I don't see any other team beating them that are left. But the team I've been backing all tournaments is Cape Verde. They've been playing beautiful football. They've been doing really well. They've surprised me. Not a team I expected to really enjoy watching in the tournament, but they have played good football. But regardless, they lost to the Amapiano boys. It was a game plan. This is one of them matches where you know that there was a game plan. Get the game to the penalties. Just get the game to the penalties. And in the penalty shootout, South Africa came up clutch. I mean, they were terrible with their own penalties, but their goalkeeper was extremely good. And it looks like that was the game plan for them. South Africa beat Cape Verde and now in the semi-final, and we'll be playing Nigeria. Afrobeats versus Amapiano. I know who is coming up on top. Other games in the AFCON were Mali, Cote d'Ivoire. Cote d'Ivoire are doing a Portugal. They were down, they were finished. I was 100% sure they would not be making it out of the group stage. They won only one match in 90 minutes, and yet somehow they're in the semi-final, could make it to the final and could even win the tournament. The whole country will be behind them. Players are starting to believe. There's hope there. They've made it this far. I don't see why they shouldn't win it. They beat Mali, who has not been bad in tournament, but journey's ended for them. And then Congo and Guinea. Oh, I swear, I always thought Congo knew how to wind their waist, the Congolese. But apparently they know how to play football too. They've been one of the most impressive teams for me in the tournament. They are not just playing good football, they are also scoring goals, and they beat Guinea comfortably. They will be playing Cote d'Ivoire in the semi-final. That is going to be a really tough match. Ideally, I would say Congo would win the match, because they've been playing better than Cote d'Ivoire. But Cote d'Ivoire have somehow, one thing they've done in this tournament is survive, and I don't see how they will not survive against Congo. It's going to be really hard. But I think it's time for me to back Nigeria. They are now my favorites to win the tournament. I think we would beat South Africa if we don't get to the penalties, because that keeper is crazy. You can tell me who you think will win the AFCON. Give me your predictions. Uh, give me your own points. Let me know what you all are thinking. I just don't want you guys to watch me waffle all day. I want to have a conversation. I want to have opinions. Tell me what you want me to address in the next video. So it's going to be like a conversation between me and you guys. But that is the end of today's coverage. Please like, please comment, please subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.